I'm too powerful. You can't stop me now.
I was like, I doubt it'll rocket just now, and then 3 minutes later, indicators rising, so we're good again.
Imagine showing up. Wow, Barracks is here. I guess I have to actually hand it to him or something. I don't know, man.
Damn.
What, Barrack showed
All
up?
right, anyway, come on. We've got a garbage show to produce.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9004. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, SneakyDevil. I need to make fun of grammar or something. Yeah, don't worry, Barracks. I'll pick out a grand and amazing story for you. And just to make sure that Arn is still interested, you know what? It's gonna be a Harry Potter gamer story.
Oh yes, amazing. Truly what I come for.
Yeah, this is the content you come for. Well, I think he just shot himself. Oh, okay. No, he didn't.
That's just slamming my fucking cider down on the.
Because all I hear is pop and then no more noises.
I'm curious about what kind of guns you've been using, Sneaky, to think that sounded like one.
I don't know. You could have had a Silence 22.
Silence 22s make that kind of noise?
I mean, they make a bit more noise, I think. If it's a subsonic, maybe, yeah. But I don't have that yet.
Why is the OC's possessive? Because...
Oh no, it's... No.
Oh yes, no. Oh no, this is a
I
good
consider
here. Now we're fucking cooking.
Now we're cooking with fire. Woo! Let's get the vodka.
With fucking...
Listen, I prefer to cook with a nice, even flame on a propane grill.
With propane accessories?
Into the fucking bonfire.
Alright, Hank Hill.
You're welcome.
Charcoal.
Someone kill this man.
Changing
Why?
the
I mean,
game.
come and do it yourself.
Way better than propane.
I don't know about you guys, but I do wood grilling, so fuck all y'all. I ascend to a higher level.
I wish I could.
Just put in the
You know what?
Honestly.
Alright, you know what? Those
Yeah.
will be investment goals for me. When I get my own house, next thing I should aim for is a wood grill.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, honestly, so it's super easy, because my step grandfather, I guess you could call him, when I was living with my father, he would basically be either volunteering at a charity, working at a church, or picking up wood. And he had a lot of time to pick up wood. And so he would just spend a majority of the day finding trees, dragging them home, chopping them up, and storing the wood. And we had 5 wood piles the size of cars.
Why?
Was he able to use them all, or sell them, or give them away?
Oh, yeah, we used them. We ended up getting a wood furnace, a wood-powered furnace. We got a wood grill. We had constant bonfires. Dude, dry wood goes up like...
No, really? Dry wood goes up? Really? I never would have guessed, living in the South.
Now, see, unfortunately, what you should have done is you should have... No, listen, you should have dried all that wood and waited until this year for there to be a massive spike in the lumber market.
Yeah, I know, right? Except it wasn't processable wood. It was all chopped wood.
Yeah, not lumber, just wood.
But no, I mean, we have like so much fucking wood. You don't understand. Like this, my step grandfather was the peak Southern boy. He's fat. He's got man boobs, and he can bench about 300.
I was waiting for that.
I knew exactly where it was going.
It's like you biologically you shouldn't be able to do this, but seeing as you can bench press 2 of me, I'll let you do what you want.
Incorrect dialogue tag for the very first line of dialogue, I'm sure. Yeah, a shrill voice whispered me. Yeah, fair enough. Almost correct dialogue type for the second, but remarkably doing the same thing as the last time would have been more correct. That's a fair enough. Yeah, he is the comma instead of a period. That's fair enough.
Amazing.
Amazing, Barracks. But yeah, no, it's actually outstanding how much wood he finds and collects. And I've seen him multiple times come home with the Tacoma's truck bed just filled with trees. I'm just like, oh, please tell me they were not like you didn't just steal trees from someone's yard, which has happened occasionally. They'll just like roll up and be like, "Oh, this tree fell over," and he'll just like lift it up and throw it in, throw it in the truck.
Oh my god!
And it's like, Bubba, that's not allowed. Yeah, that's not legal. No one ever stopped him. So whenever he couldn't find trees to cut down, he would go around looking for wood being put out, because whenever people would get their trees cut down, the people who cut down the trees would just put the wood out by the curb, and whoever wanted to pick it up could. So he would just go around filling the truck bed with pre-cut logs as well. For free.
I gotta say, probably the best thing that I ever burned was on the guy's camp out.
Yeah.
And there's a dump, like, I don't know.
Palm rubbed his eyelid.
I was gonna say, there was a dump maybe 3-4 miles upstream from this campsite, and you could get to the dump by just walking up the river.
Did you set fire to the dump?
No. We found a monster truck tire.
And that is also illegal.
No, we asked the guy at the dump if we could have the tire, and he's like,
no, burning rubber is not permitted.
Oh yeah, I know that, but no one. We were in the woods, so.
We did have a family meeting one time, and
the police were notified, correct?
They were now.
God damn it!
So, we had a truck with a cover on top of it, so we all piled into the truck bed and put the cover down because we were fitting like 25 people into this truck to get to this place that we wanted to go to, but only this truck could get to it. So we're like, well, we don't want to make like 10 trips. So, the person driving was speeding, and a cop pulled us over. And part of the law,
like a group of...
and part of the law in the area we were in is that cops have permission to search covered truck beds if they feel suspicious of them. And so we hear him approaching the cover, and we're like, oh shit, and we throw the cover up, scatter, we all fucking fly out of the truck bed, running in every direction. And the cop's like, what? He thought we were transporting drugs. Joke's on him, we were transporting humans.
The joke's on him, it was only people.
It was human trafficking. Little did he know.
True.
He thought he was busting a drug ring, not a human trafficking ring.
And the best part is we were all white, so he's just like, what the fuck is happening? There's no stereotypes that can help you there, except for maybe redneck, which a majority of us were. So anyway, this is Changing the Game by Demon Knight 312. Atin figured he was an ordinary half-blood with little to no information he had on his father. But when the supposed muggle sends the teenage wizard a powerful gift, this loner wizard's whole life gets turned upside down.
It's missing the apostrophe.
So I gotta be honest, for a second, I did in fact think you said boner wizard, and I was like, that's a thing, I suppose.
You know, you can have your fist wizards, your boner wizards. I mean, that's what bards are, right? Boner wizard. That's basically what a bard is.
True.
Unfortunately, yes.
So this is a Lily Evans times Bellatrix story.
No, Lily Evans times Bellatrix.
Oh, times OC. Oh, of course, yes, of course, the OC.
Yeah. Don't
this
forget that.
has only 11 chapters, only 40k words, with 2,400 favorites, and it's only been up for a year.
Oh boy.
Sounds rough, bro.
I want to die. Oh,
it's gamer.
I just want to die. Put a gun up to me, baby. Put a gun up to me, baby. Oh, I just want to die.
Calm down, Taylor.
Woo! Yes, that paint thinner. Woo! Haven't had that in a while.
And why are you drinking paint thinner tonight, Sneaky?
Because I have a full 2-liter jug of Tito's.
Why wouldn't he be?
That is not a good reason.
This is actually garbage. Holy
Well,
crap.
no one else drinks Tito's in my family, so I was like, well, might as well do him a solid and finish it off for him.
Ah, yes. How magnanimous of you, Sneaky.
What?
Yeah, I just finished off the family can of paint thinner.
Yeah. You know.
Passed down for generations.
Passed down to generation.
Family heirloom.
What would that be, Max? Like 400 proof?
That would be. This is for when you want to end the bloodline.
You mean start the alcohol line?
You gotta fill those alcohol veins some way, you know?
That sounds like a weird setup for like a D&D alchemist. The family's goal has been to replace our blood with alcohol. We've been working on it for 1,000 years.
Yep. Finally, they're gonna succeed.
I do not own any character associated with Harry Potter. I only own my OC's possessive. The ages of some characters will not be the same, so my OC can fuck them.
Yeah.
See, this is what I don't get here. It's like, if you want your OC to fuck them, just put him in their grade.
Like, you'll still be a creeper, but at least you won't be a super.
Like, it's like your original character, dude. Like, you aren't required to write. It's just. But then you can't fuck all of them.
I mean, listen, no matter how you write your garbage story, someone's gonna come off as a creeper.
Yeah.
So, like, you might as well just put yourself in the grade that satisfies the most of your, pathetic self-insert OC wishes, and then just make the rest a little creepier.
No, I mean, hold on a second. Like, so, this is a Harry Potter story, and if you really just want to have your shit garbage story where you fuck all the characters you're waifuing, you can just use time travel. I mean, that is an actual canon thing. Unlike every other series where people use time travel is an actual thing in this series.
Unfortunately.
So,
fucking.
I'm just saying, if is really what you want to do, that it's an option.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends, because in the actual canon, they only really had short-term time travel as far as we're aware, like few hours.
But it was also the only time travel that was given to children, so...
Yeah, in Cursed Child, however, there's like 15-year time travel. Yeah, fuck you. That's part of why that story was so fucking garbage.
To be fair, there's 6 girls commonly in the harem during this time period? What? There's no harems at all in Harry Potter. Are you referring to, like...
I assume they're referring to the garbage fan tropes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only assume they're... Yeah, okay. The fan tropes, okay. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can take solace in the fact that I know my dorm mates won't be bothered if I didn't return for the night. So, at the very least, no one will report me for being missing. At the very least, it gives me enough time to figure out what the hell this is. So, first off, run-on sentence. Second off, you use that very least twice. You can't say, lastly, something, 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 and lastly, something, something, something. You... At the very least implies the bottom. The minimum. You can't go like, the smallest thing, and here is the other smallest thing. It's like, wait, hold on. How? Oh, whoa.
This is the smallest cup we have. And what's that over there? That's the other smallest cup.
Third off present tense. Oh yeah, two. Yeah, third off present tense. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah.
He switches a lot.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, I can tell. There's a lot of switching going on here.
Yeah, it's back and forth like a fucking seesaw.
Patches of different types of leather and skin. Even without opening it, I could see the pages were aged, and then some. No, hold on. No, hold on. Whoa. There is weathering that can happen to pages on the edges, but that does not indicate the age of the page. The aging on the page, I should say.
Yeah.
May I present what the fuck is the item the author is describing? Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Patches of different leather and skin. Leather and skin are the same thing?
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Besides, it's clearly a book, which is introduced two lines later. Yeah, I'm not really sure why they're like patches of leather and skin. It's like
the whole fucking paragraph is just no. It doesn't make any sense.
Aging, and then something in my gut is screaming at me as if the presence of a powerful artifact.
We're gonna touch the magic book!
Again, this is just a giant fucking run-on sentence again. Oh my god. I even levitated it here, refusing to touch it.
Sneaky, how about someone writes a version of this where, like, a real wizard finds the journal and is like, oh, this is a phylactery. I know what to do with this.
Yes. I can smell the soul.
Rip the pages out one by one and wipe your ass on it?
Yeah. That's what real men do.
It's 100% absorbent.
Oh, excellent.
It's just a book! A shrill voice whispered in my ear. Shrill whispered. Okay, alright. Fair enough, I suppose, maybe. And I was forced to withhold a sigh. Wait, did she like have a gun to you or something? Who's forcing you to withhold a sigh? Wait. I noticed, Myrtle. I dismissed the ghost and continued to stare at the book that my ever so lazy familiar suddenly graced me. When I questioned where the damned owl got the book, she gave me her usual lazy glance and fell asleep on top of my headboard, not bothering to return to the owlery. Of course, my mother runs a creature sanctuary, and she gifts me with the laziest familiar out there. Again, that is nowhere near the same fucking sentence.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm above 100k channel points.
Yeah, I just noticed 100.4k. What are you gonna do more with
His mom doesn't just run a creature sanctuary, she also runs on sentences.
Alright, you know what? Good.
Fair enough.
Fair. Good job.
Good job, mate. Well done.
Oh god, that reminded me of a series of jokes that, it's really unfortunate that 9/11 jokes aren't acceptable these days because I can't seem to never remember them.
So you can't seem to forget them, you mean?
Yeah, I'm a little bit drunk. Don't worry about it. I got there.
Yeah, clear not enough.
He got close enough.
I got there.
Forget the point.
Never remember.
Sneaky usually gets to the
things.
point eventually.
What if a
Speaking of
wizard
things
with a
running on,
Hebert
not your
of the
family.
pervert type finds riddle stories? What? I'm not drunk enough to decipher that. My brain's not running away. It gave up long ago.
Yeah.
Um.
Hasn't been present for a very long time.
Yeah. I flick my wand at its direction. The books? Or the familiar?
Yes.
I'm assuming the familiar. And hoped that the book, I guess it's the book, would open so I could read it without touching it.
What?
Why wouldn't you just use like Bookus Openness or some shit then? Like,
Bookus Openness, Sneaky. Use the tip of your come on, just
just use the tip, bro.
Grab a stick, poke it or something. I don't know, like.
Or you know what? Grab
options.
somebody else's hand and use them as a puppet to open the book. Oh god, this book is super cursed. Anyone who touches it will die, but anyone who reads it will gain fabulous power. Grabs friend's hand.
Wait, hang on, I didn't agree to this.
Alright, fine, cuts off friend's hand.
Now you will.
It's okay, this book is about necromancy. I can
Yet
bring you back.
Yet it remained firmly shut, begging me for me to touch the damned thing. Arthur, I'm gonna need to ask you to stop. Ah, well, better scrounge up my Gryffindor courage and ignore every intelligent thought. The moment my fingers touched the book, it suddenly disappeared in a bright blue flash. Why are there so many fucking commas? None of these commas are right, except maybe the last one. But none of these fucking commas are right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the book and it suddenly disappeared in a bright blue flash was right. No. Too many or not enough? That's a fair. No. There's too many.
Yeah, that's like two sentences combined into one.
Like at the moment my fingers touched the book, it suddenly disappeared in a bright blue flash. That's fine. But blinding me modifies that sentence. So I guess.
Yeah, like it should have been separate. Like I used to do this a lot.
Yeah.
Run sentence on and on and on and on. But I think more than like 3 parts to a sentence separate. And it's still like,
Yeah. My palm viciously rubbed my eyelids. So you use one palm for both your eyelids? That's a fucking enormous hand there, dude.
Yeah, that's what I have a palm. I can't do that. I
also
tried.
viciously rubbed your eyelids? Like you're fucking bleeding after this, I guess? Man, you gotta get that hand under your control. It's attacking your face.
You gotta stop jerking off so hard.
The calluses are too great.
Yeah.
I must be the fella that jerks off all
Either
day.
he's gonna calm down or he's gonna use more lube. One or the other.
Vicious palms. He's a monk. Oh, that's what happened. He took levels in monk.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Yes, Sneaky. The most powerful of the monk abilities.
Monkey.
Oh shit!
Sneaky. I guess that gives things like Diamond Soul a whole other meaning.
Okay, you know what? Thank you for the idea, Arn. I'm gonna use that in the future. Where if Faceless kills off my character, I'm gonna make a monk gorilla.
Oh boy.
No. Sneaky.
Monkey.
Sneaky, you have a perfectly nice, adorable puppet to play.
I know.
You gotta name him like Mr. E or something. Monkey.
He'll be Mr. H.
Yeah, right.
H for Harambe.
R.I.P.
Never forget.
In our hearts forever.
You know, it all went south when they killed that damn ape.
True.
The death of Harambe is in fact the trigger for the darkest timeline.
It was actually the, you know that message in Morrowind? Where you kill an important character and it's like the threads of fate have been unbound, reload your save, or waste away in doom or whatever?
Persist in this cursed world we have created.
Yeah. Yeah, someone out there got that message when Harambe died.
And they didn't reload.
And they didn't reload. That damn bastard. What if it was the guy that shot Harambe?
I mean, probably was, yeah. The one who initiated it all.
Why does this next line have a comma before dialogue? Kill me. Oh, dude, you should have seen that story we had like 2 to 3 weeks ago. That was like no periods after dialogue, commas before the dialogue, commas after the dialogue quote, and then like there's no fucking punctuation if any dialogue ended a paragraph. And oh my god, it was so fucking bad.
Yeah. God. Fuck.
There was shit like comma, end quote, exclamation point, space, period. Just like, oh my god. Yeah. Fucking kill me.
God is dead, and Jesus speaks to change his middle name to fucking.
You leave the questionable existence of my deity out of this. Thank you.
No. Eat shit.
Oh, woo!
I'll just ask Jesus to turn it into bread.
Fair
yes.
Enough.
Yeah, exactly.
You still know.
Yes.
You'll know deep inside it's shit.
But it's nutritious.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Myrtle did what she does best.
No, there you go.
Moan.
Yes. Myrtle's a terrible person. Blah,
Myrtle
blah,
moaned.
blah.
She's moaning.
She's dead.
Eventually,
I suppose that is the way the author was taking this, yes.
Eventually, she calmed down. Took a while, though, and a headache was coupled with it. Comma. Dialogue. Are you okay, Alton? No, at least he got the comma in front of the name right. This kid got a headache from someone moaning? I know, he's an incel.
True.
I lean my head back, resting it against the cool porcelain of the sink as my vision finally returned to me. I think I'm no worse for the wear. Still doesn't explain what that fucking book was. A gift from your father. The fuck? Bold, luminous blue words hovered in the air. You know, I don't understand why they always go with blue. Why can't you get like a red words, you know? Maybe like fucking rainbow. Some god really wanted to fuck you over and gave you a constant RGB color change. You know, like one of the keyboards that like constantly go through all the colors of the rainbow at random in different spots. Just that you really wanted to just annoy the shit out of you for the rest of your existence. And instead of your like a normal blue background or a black background or a white background, you know, it's a fucking RGB rainbow that constantly shifts. Prismatic, I think it's called. How would you feel about that, Max? Riveting. Oh no, quick before kids write AO3 stuff about them. And it's too late. Moaning Myrtle is very popular on AO3.
Disturbingly popular on AO3.
I'm glad the game had the politeness to bold its text for ease of reading. It would be awkward if they like underlined it or some shit, or wrote it as a larger size. Okay, so the thing is you actually can't, for fanfiction.net at least, you can't actually write as a larger size. And
yeah.
Underlining is, I actually prefer bolding over underlining if you're going to use a lot of text, because generally underlining just isn't, I just don't like it as much. Bolded text just feels nicer. Yeah, 756 stories of Moaning Myrtle. Yeah, there's too many. It's 756 too many. I've seen some shit, man. That is a depths you don't want to plunge yourself into. Your father.
Or if you're a real freak, dive in head first and leave us out of it.
That too, yeah. Your father feels guilt for not being in your life. A supremely power being. A supremely power being. Shamed that he cannot groom you.
I don't like that wording.
I would like different words selected, author.
Hence, he searched his armory for the perfect gift for a young wizard and gifted you the Agma
Ligma. Ugma balls.
The Agma Infinum is a book of power from Elder Scrolls. It's basically a book that upon reading it gives you all of the knowledge in any subject that you ask from it. But you can only ask for one subject from it. But you can be really general with it, but that can also backfire on you. If you're like, I want to know about fighting, it will give you every single fighting technique that has ever been conceived, thought of, practiced, just dreamed about. All of it. So not exactly.
Which, generally speaking, drives you insane.
Yeah, also doesn't protect you, by the way, of this knowledge transfer.
Oh yeah, that's the other part. So it doesn't take a super long time, but the more you ask for, the longer it takes. And so while it's putting the knowledge in you, you're just basically stuck there like a drooling vegetable.
Also, it depends. Depending on how feisty Hermaeus Mora, the Daedric god of knowledge, feels, it can also eat you and drag you into Hermaeus' realm to turn you into Mora's slave, where he basically goes, I'll give you the knowledge if you agree to sell your soul to me, and if you say no, I'll just leave you here to starve.
Well, that's kind of rude.
He's actually, as the god of knowledge, he's actually usually pretty willing to just hand knowledge out for free. He really only does that to the people that are grade A dicks.
Oh, no underplayed. Oh, God. Forbidden knowledge.
Agmon and Finum, I want to know about Epstein.
I want to know about Israel. I wish to know about a certain event that happened in Europe between 1942 and 1945.
Indeed. But the thing is that when it
gives you a detailed description of Hitler's bowel movements.
The thing is that with Mora, the reason why he gives out knowledge for free is because by accepting his deal of knowledge, he'll just come back and be like, hey, remember that time that I gave you that knowledge for free? Well, technically it wasn't for free. You owe me a favor now. So either you do the favor for me, or you get to die, and then do the favor for me, because I own your soul now.
But, again, surprisingly for a lot of the Daedra, he's like, you owe me a favor. One favor. And he will make you do one thing.
Yeah.
Now,
and depending on how dickish you are to him, this is actually pretty important, depending on how dickish you are to him, if you can find a way to wiggle out of his clauses, he'll actually just be impressed with you. He's like, oh, wow, I didn't even think of that. That's new knowledge. So, also, you made my ability to trap people in the future better. So, it's like a double thanks, so I'm going to let you off the hook. But if you're a dick to him, he'll be like, I'll let you off the hook, but I'm not letting you out of my realm. Do you want to make a deal to be let out of my realm?
I would say the other thing he'll do, right? Sometimes depending on how feisty he is. I think one of the funniest was I think one of the feistiest was he's like, you owe me a favor. Right, and eventually all the bargaining happens. And he's like, "No, you owe me the favor. Do it or die." And the person's like, "Fine, I'll do it." He's like, "Okay, well, I was gonna have you do this, but now I need you to dismantle this assassin organization."
Yeah, that happened as well.
That's your favor to me. Dismantle an organization. What?
What? Just gonna have
what was
you
the
give
other
me the
thing
cube.
gonna be? I needed a sweet roll.
Yeah, it's.
That's not actually what it was, but it was basically.
It was like, give me the cube. It's like you literally can't translate this cube. You can do nothing with the cube, and Mora is just like, hey, just give me this cube, and I'll do whatever. And you can be like, no, fuck you. So Mora's like, all right, well, go do this ridiculous task for me then instead. Because you have to get the knowledge one way, and you could have given me the cube, but now fuck you.
Now go do this absurd thing. Like, and here's the thing, right? Like, if I was there,
also prepare to be tentacle raped if you double back on a deal of his.
Yeah. So Sneaky, here's my question: what would you ask the book for?
It's a very curious question, because that would imply I was in a situation where I needed to use the book in the first place.
No, let's just pretend you're on Earth. You found the book. What are you gonna ask the book for?
Well, that's another curious question, because that would imply that I am possibly going to forget any information that it gives me. But hypothetically speaking, if I did not forget any knowledge this book gave me, probably engineering and physics. Yeah. Just engineering and physics in its totality. No, obviously you can't be. Also, that's the other thing, is you can't be made a master of anything with the Augment Infinitum. But I really just want to make some really redneck slapdash technology. But I am neither a good engineer, nor good at physics, nor confident enough in my ability to survive a. I'm gonna make a fission reactor today using these 3 spoons and that glowing rock I found outside.
I'm sorry, I just imagined Ogma Infinitum. I want to know about MacGyver.
Give me the skills of MacGyver. Indeed.
See, I would just be like, right? I'd just be like, either there's the lame option of I want the knowledge of the winning lottery numbers for the next 50 of the winning
it has to be skills.
American lottery numbers for the next 50 years.
It has to be skills. It can't just be general knowledge. It's
that's true. Skills. I want the skills to predict winning lottery numbers. Or the other one is I want the skills to build a space elevator.
That's also true. Yeah.
Because like again. Yeah. I built the space elevator. Guess what? I am now the richest and most powerful person alive for eternity.
Right, but see, the reason why I went with engineering and physics specifically is because if you're capable of figuring out something that's already been made, because you don't need to be a master to figure out something that's already been made. If you're capable of figuring out something that's already been made and then figuring out a way to make it cheaper, you're
true.
That's money. You're a gamer! Bold blue letters. Yeah, indeed. My chest heaved as I stared at the words hovering over Myrtle's head, the ghost none the wiser. I'm going crazy. Ah, then you can go off yourself, Myrtle giggled with a creepy tone. Wow! I was not ready for that!
Okay, then.
Wow, I like Myrtle now. What the fuck?
I'm going crazy. You go fucking kill yourself. What? Wow.
Kill yourself, Lamau.
I did not see that one coming.
Become trans.
Then we could haunt these toilets forever and ever. I could think of no worse hell than that. I mean, I see where the author's trying to go here with the sort of like comedy back and forth sort of thing, and I guess it's kind of funny. It's Myrtle. And NOC. So I'm already against it, but I'm also now like, doubly against it. Because Myrtle. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
I shot down her delusion, not giving her a chance to plant any seeds of thought that I enjoy her company. This bathroom is literally the only... Wait. This bathroom is literally the only where I can get some peace and quiet from the other students, but I'm forced to tolerate her presence. Jesus Christ, what are these up with these paragraph sentences? Though I suppose the inverse is true, and she tolerates me, or at least at first she did. Now it seems like she enjoys my visits. Maybe I should cut back on that for my own sake of peace. What are periods? I don't know. I don't think this author does either. I'm not drunk enough for this. Shot number 5. Go. Woo. She let out a wail of despair as she flew into the toilet. You're not going crazy, young Alton. Then what am I? Weird floating text that only I can see? You're a gamer. My face scrunched up in confusion. I'm a what? Quest unlocked. Tutorial 1, learn the ropes. Reward, you'll learn the ropes. Thanks. Think status. Am I really going to follow the direction of a magical floating text from a book that claims it's from my father? Yes, I am. Status. Alton. HP 300, MP 100, 5 MP regeneration per second. SP 300, level 1, race half-breed wizard ? Age 15. Stats strength 5. Also, so the author decided to be cheeky and just like input these like parentheses? No, hyphens? No, Max, what are these symbols called?
Those are brackets, aren't they?
Brackets. Yeah. Thank you. Brackets. So I decided to like basically like put like commentary in these brackets. It's like strength. Your general physical prowess is not useful for a wizard. It's like bullshit. It isn't. Bitch, have you ever punched someone? Endurance works as your health points multiplier. Agility affects your stamina regeneration. Why would agility affect your... What? Oh yes, you see, I am very flexible, which means I instantly recover from hard, difficult actions.
Yes, I am also very fast, which means
what?
I recover quickly.
Yeah, I run so fast, I recover quicker. Okay. All right, author. Charisma. The effects of your presence amongst people varies on this, as well as your chances on convincing people. Mind, you don't expect outlandish lies to succeed, or accept commands out of their nature, no matter how high your charisma stat is. That is completely false. A good enough speaker can get anyone to do anything.
Yeah, that's quite true.
Intelligence affects the speed of how fast you pick up new information. Regain. Wait, what the fuck? Regain? Really? You can't even go like with wisdom or some generic shit? You had agility be endurance regeneration, but you have the regain stat for mana point regeneration? Fucking seriously, author? Luck influences actions that fall under the realms of chance. So this is actually, I've complained about this before. I hate it when luck is made a stat in books. Like, luck being a stat in games is fine because it's a game and and everyone knows when you're playing a game, everything's already set in stone. Like, you're not gonna boot up Minecraft and be like, oh boy, I hope Mojang doesn't spawn an Ender Dragon on me when I start. It's like, no, the Ender Dragon only shows up in one location, and you have to go there manually. Like, it will never show up outside of that one location. Like,
yeah, and there's also, like, you know, drop rates, drop tables,
right, exactly,
things like that, which are affected by luck.
And this is all being in a game. This you can't having luck in
many outcomes.
Right, having luck in a story, however, you can't spend 8 hours grinding a story, right?
Yeah,
like,
you don't reroll the story every time.
Yeah, like, right. You can't just keep reloading a save in a story and being like, oh well, eventually I'll get the good chapter.
Yeah. I mean, that depends on how closely you define story.
I mean, I guess that depends if
there's some things that would cross the barrier.
I mean, I guess if Kojima writes a story, he'll figure out a way to do that, but
yeah.
Until then,
I mean, like Death Stranding. Kind of.
But still, my point being though is that while it might make sense in a game to put luck as a stat in, putting luck as a stat into a written work doesn't make sense, because any point in time where you have, whoa, they got lucky and suddenly got this item or this ability or someone showed up to save them, the audience looks at that and goes, yeah, he got lucky, you know.
So amazing!
The author who's writing the story with only one ending just happened to write the lucky choice. What a coincidence!
Amazing.
Sure.
And underplayed. True. Yes, that's a thing, but that's not the point here.
Wouldn't luck dictate how close the stronghold takes you in the game? Yeah, but there's nothing. That's not the point here. The point here is that luck should not be a stat in a written work.
It's a linear thing. There are no retries. There are no second chances. There is only one way the story goes.
Right.
Well, unless you have, you know, other kinds of genres.
And to be fair, Sneaky, if you're going the Wild Bow route, okay, look, hold on. First off, Wild Bow did not roll the dice on his characters. He says that he did. He fucking didn't, okay? Taylor was his little fucking precious child, okay? Like, Taylor was the manifestation of his hate against authority, okay? He was never going to kill her off. Maybe at the very start, before he got popular, he was considering doing it. But the fact that he got popular with Taylor as the main character means he would absolutely not fucking do it. At all. Whatsoever. Wild Bow is not the brave and bold type. He fucking wrote a story that people did not like, so instead of continuing on away from Worm, despite everyone demanding him to write more Worm, he went and wrote more Worm. And it was garbage. Because he's a fucking spineless little bitch who wants to hold on to his money. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going after him for wanting to hold on to what made him famous and wealthy. Don't get me wrong, I would do the same thing. All I'm saying is he made statements at the end of Worm, and people were like, oh, you're going to write the second part of Worm now? And he said, no, fuck that, I'm never coming back to Worm, I'm never writing Worm again, Worm is done, I'm going to write this new story. And then no one liked his new story, and he's like, oh, please guys, I'll write more Worm, just please come back to me, give me more money.
I mean, if he's making money, like, I can understand wanting to make money, I really can, like, for crying out loud, the same exact thing happened to Sherlock Holmes.
Like I said, I'm not going after him for making money. I'm just saying that Wild Bow is not the sort of person to be like, I'm going to have a spine and, like, say to myself, oh, if I roll the dice and Taylor dies, I'm actually going to kill her. No, he wouldn't do that. Maybe he thought about it, but he never did it.
Right.
And stories, especially quests, could have situations where luck plays a massive factor. Yeah, that's true, but that's because but even then, unless the author is showing the dice that he rolls, because that's actually a function, by the way. In space battles, sufficient velocity, questionable questing, you can actually press a button called roll dice, and it will publicly display the dice being rolled and the numbers that come out from it. I am highly suspicious of dice. that are rolled behind the screen where the author comes out or the DM comes out and just says, "You just have to trust me. It definitely hit you." It's like,
yeah, trust the votes, bro.
Can you just show me the dice? If the dice totally hit me, can you show me the dice? Oh no, I'm not going to show you the dice, but you just have to trust me. You definitely rolled the number that I wanted you to roll. It's like, okay, I'm sure I did.
I mean, there's a fine line. Like, there is a fine line. Like, I understand why DMs keep dice hit, right? Like, the dice shield exists for a reason, right? The DM shield exists for a reason.
Right, and I understand that. And I understand that does exist for a reason, especially if you want to keep the party alive. But there is scenarios where just rolling the dice out in the open is for the best, especially if it's a scenario in which, say, it's like, oh, well, we're going to roll dice to see if she gets hit by a low-orbit ion cannon or finds the, Excalibur under the tree.
Right.
Oh, wow, she rolled Excalibur under the tree. Wow, trust me, she definitely rolled it, guys.
That would you say. That's why I love giving players the deck of many things because it's fun. Yeah. Especially when you're sitting there, right? Like, oh, hey, look, this person just got a keep. Oops, now it's tumbled into tiny bricks, but you still do technically own it.
Remarkable how Excalibur just randomly came up. Oh, no, did it come up? Does it come up later? Oh, no. I was just pulling that on my ass because people love using that.
Oh, no. Wait.
But anyway, so my point being is that quests, again, I've ranted Arn's ear off about this and Gray's ear off about this. Quests aren't stories. I don't consider quests to be fan fictions or stories. They are an interactive medium of snippets.
Yes.
Yep.
Joke on a random chance, not in this story. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes up. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes up either.
I just checked. It's not in the first chapter.
Okay,
and I'm not checking any other chapters because fuck that shit.
But my point being is that when you are releasing a singular story that has a fixed outcome, being you, the author, is writing it, I'm not going to believe an author when they say, hey, look, these are the rolls that totally happened. It's like, that's why I rolled it in public. Well, public, quote unquote, on the SDM. There is a record of when Gray and I were rolling that story. There is a record of those rolls that are there forever. Period. Like they're gonna be there until the bot gets wiped and the server gets shut down. And if anyone ever calls me on it, I can just be like, "Yep, here's a fucking picture of me doing those rolls like this long ago." And while people might be like, "Oh, well, yeah, did that?" Well, okay, well,
You could have just re-rolled, deleted the messages. Except, you can't delete bot messages, but how would they know?
But anyway, so point being, though, is that I really don't trust it when authors are just like, yeah, just totally trust me that their luck definitely got them this. So it's one of those things that doesn't need to be there, that explains stuff that you didn't need to explain. You can just have them, oh, I found a book on the zombie and it lets me learn a spell. You don't have to be like, oh, the luck roll, I got the gotcha. You can just have the zombie drop the loot. You don't need to like try and explain it away.
Yeah.
And that's honestly the worst part in stories where they're like, oh wow, my luck is so high, I just happened to roll great items on every single zombie. It's like, what? You can just have them find a hidden treasure chest, or they complete some sort of, hidden side quest, or there's so many other ways you can give them the equipment, spells, and abilities that you want them to be overpowered with that don't involve just, I stabbed a zombie and it dropped a minigun. Wow, my luck roll is so high.
As much as we'd like to hate on Shiro here, at least he hasn't done that.
Yeah.
He hasn't relied on luck rolls.
Yeah.
Which is a small bonus on a shit pile, really.
It's a cherry on a shit pile.
Yeah. A diamond in the shit.
Anyway, half-breed? How? I was always told I was a half-blood. But to be a half-breed, that means my father isn't even human. And better yet, I don't even know what he was. It's infuriating. I mean, I guess. See, this is the part where getting to know your character would have given the audience a lot more being like, yeah, it is kind of angry that we still don't know what the father is. But it's like, if you just went up to a random stranger and you're like, I just found out that my dad's alive and isn't black like I thought he was. It's like, okay, thanks for shouting that at me. I'm not sure why you're screaming at a stranger about why your father isn't who you thought he was, but okay.
Can we continue screaming at strangers?
I mean, we can.
Yeah.
For $20,000, I'll film myself going to New York Times Square and screaming at random people.
Based. Might take you
I mean, I just kind of assumed you'd be willing to do that anyway for no money.
Oh, see, that's why
if I got you drunk.
No. If you got me drunk, I wouldn't leave my house. And
see, that's why the goal is to get you outside. Right?
I don't socially drink.
Except with your family, I guess.
I mean, yeah, I'll drink, but like that's at my family's house where I'm sleeping.
That's because you're with your family.
Yeah.
You kind of need it.
I mean that too, yeah. I consumed a whole fucking liter of vodka in like the first 45 minutes I was there. My whole family's like, we didn't even notice he ate that. He consumed that much. They only realized it when I was like basically sleep eating. I actually remember the entire time I was drunk there. And the thing is I don't remember my entire time I was drunk there. All I remember is falling asleep in my chair, waking up, being like, oh, there's mashed potatoes in front of me. Oh, turkey, stab, stab, munch, 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 swallow, fall back asleep. Oh, wake up. Oh, there's mashed potatoes in front of me. Turkey, stab, stab. Tasty. I take a calming breath and steady my shaking hands. I hear your hands shaking. Is he going into cocaine withdrawal?
Yeah.
This is a lot to take in. My father isn't.
It's Harry Potter, the cocaine mage.
Cocaine.
Fucking Parkinson's wizard.
Parkinson.
He's one of the most dangerous duelists around because you can never tell where his spells will come from.
Exactly.
But it's almost like my muggle friend D&D game she liked to play.
Not in the slightest.
That's what we're gonna do this, Arthur.
What? It's almost like my muggle friend D&D games she likes to play. What is this fucking grammar?
It's
something.
Think skills. I still don't know if I've lost the plot. What?
Yeah. Yes.
But crazier things have happened. Have they? And the only explanation is magic. Okay, what? I fundamentally don't understand why the author's trying to, like, this is what I was talking about, the whole humor aspect the author's trying to go for, where it's just like, he's trying to be funny, and sometimes he, like, gets a good couple lines of back and forth, but when he tries to be funny on his own without the back and forth dialogue going on, it's just like, I don't know if I lost the plot, and stranger things have happened, but magic is the answer!
Yuck! Magic!
It's like, no one... What? It's like, who are you talking to at this point, author? Everyone is now confused as to what plot you were supposed to not lose, what stranger things have happened to you, and why you just jump to magic being the solution. I mean, don't get me wrong, I too would jump to magic being the answer if blue text just appeared in front of me and was like, yo, hey man, you're the gamer now, and you got stats and shit. And I'd be like, okay, I got magic or something, I guess. Don't get me wrong, I fully support the author on that aspect, but the rest of his sentence is just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, so I woke up one day and I stared at someone until I scanned them. It's kind of cool.
Stared at someone until I scanned them. Okay, there. Defense against dark arts, 37 out of question mark.
I mean, come on, Sneaky. It's not that different compared to the way bards get their powers. One day I made fun of this goblin and he just fell over dead.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
What's that? Vicious Mockery does just enough damage to one-shot a fucking goblin? If you roll well?
So one day I was just playing on this trombone and this goblin just died. It's weird.
It's the stupidest fucking thing.
That sounds like a story and a half.
No, bards? But really, that's
actually how bards, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is not even like, oh, this is a 3.5 thing. That's like, no, this is the origin story of all bards, is that you have your random street performers, and then one day they are performing, and either they did really well or really badly, and suddenly someone either died or felt really good. And they were like, oh, well, I guess I can do magic now.
Amazing.
Like, it really is just the stupidest thing, because Vicious Mockery is just, hey, D4 plus your spell modifier. So if you have at least a +2 and you roll a 4, guess what? You can mock a goblin to death at level 1.
Yeah, I just... It's also like one of the worst fucking attacks in existence. It honestly is the worst fucking attack in existence.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's
but
terrible.
It's about the style.
I want to see Azula in Shield Hero trying to be manipulated by Multi. You know what? Azula being summoned into Shield Hero wouldn't happen because she's a firebender and she hates weaponry.
True.
So, yeah, I mean...
I'm sorry, Sneaky, yeah. I forgot that one of the bard cantrips is to just make an instrument appear from nowhere.
Yeah.
Shit, I really need a guitar.
Honestly, the worst one is definitely helping hand or animate object. I forget what it was. Basically, you can start singing. This is how bards cast the spell, Max. So the bards will start singing like a play, and objects around them will begin to animate and attack people in accordance to the bard's will.
It's so, like, literally Fantasia.
Yeah, it's the dumbest shit in existence because the bard will be there like, somebody once told me.
So what if Mickey was a murder hobo?
Yes. Also, in 3.5, you could in fact animate your opponent's weapons out of their hands. That was a good.
I'm so glad that's a thing because that would be one of the first things I attempt with that spell.
No, it was
you can totally do. But that's not the thing. In Pathfinder 3.5, what made bards useful was they basically had chance. So your bard could give your party a background to, like, one of the. First of all, some of the names were great. Like, one of them is Inspire Competence, not Confidence. Competence.
Yeah. So anyway, here's Wonderwall.
To give you, to make sure it was like, even at base level, it's stupid good. It's like +2 to all the dice rolls. It's basically +2 to all your dice rolls.
Yeah. I think
it's insane, and it just gets, it scales up super hard. But it's literally Inspire Competence, and it's like, does your party keep screwing up the stealth check? Can they not pick a lock? Can they not shoot a goblin from 4 feet away? Inspire Competence today.
So this was a great moment. Speaking of stealth checks and my entire party failing it. So
oh no.
We killed last Sunday. We had a D&D game and we killed a pack of bandits. And then our DM is like, and you see a troop of heavily armored, heavily armed soldiers walking in formation down this road, right? And for some reason, the rest of my entire fucking party went full retard and we're like, oh, what's that? Heavily armed and armored soldiers walking in formation? Must be more bandits.
Are they?
Oh.
They
No.
cannot possibly have been that stupid.
So
I
they
mean,
proceeded
actually,
to...
I know who your teammates are, so
Yeah.
yes, they could have.
Gray wasn't there, by the way. This is the session that Gray was gone, and it was the dumbest fucking shit. Oh my god, it was so fucking bad. I hate all of them. So anyway, they all decide to hide, and they all rolled, like, below 10. Like, in total, rolled below 10. Like, on top of their dice roll and modifiers. Went below 10 on all of their stealth rolls.
Jesus.
Hiding in bushes and shit, and then, like, Lupine spent the entire time pushing the cart up against one of the ravine's walls, and I'm me, the intelligent one, is standing out in the open as an old man in a wheelchair, just being like, hello, we killed the bandits, also I'm an old man, I really can't rob people, being an old man that I am.
I am an old man in a wheelchair being pushed around by a 15-year-old girl. I am not a bandit.
Meanwhile, the soldiers are like, alright, then who the fuck are these people hiding in the bushes, covered in blood, armed and armored? I'm like, yeah, those are my fucking retarded party members. Don't kill them, please. They're retarded.
Or if you do, leave me out of this.
And for some reason, we have a bard in our party, but the priest, who has -1 to their charisma, decided they were going to try and convince the soldiers they weren't bandits instead of the bard with +12.
Please tell me he botched.
And he rolled a 1.
Yes.
Please tell me the bard got accused of being a bard of, like, not the bard, the priest. He got accused of being, like, a priest of, I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, what some of the worst deities are.
No, they were just like, you're bandits. You're dressed up as a priest, but you're clearly lying. You're just a bandit. Like, Faceless was just face palming the entire fucking time.
I mean, to be fair, there's a pretty simple solution to that one. Hold on, I can heal these people and prove that I am not Bandito.
No, the solution was the old man being like, please excuse my mentally disabled party members, we're not bandits.
Please excuse my mentally disabled party members, we're not bandits.
Yeah.
Well, if it works.
Also, our bard keeps setting fire to everything. Like, the second we get into combat, his immediate first spell has been fireball every single fucking encounter. And she's like, he's fireball devils.
Fireball?
Because he did. Because he has 5e. He casted fireball on devils.
Alright, look, wow, he's really stupid. Okay, look, all I'm saying is, Bard, like, even when Bards don't get cool until they hit, like, level 20 and they can cast 6-level spells in 3.5 in Pathfinder, and then they get the best spell of all, Whip of Ants. Did you forget about that one, Sneaky?
It's a Whip of Ants. I know. But honestly, the bard has been useless this entire time, basically accomplished nothing. All he does is sit there and he fails Vicious Mockery constantly because it's Vicious Mockery. The DC on it's so fucking easy to beat.
Wait, is that BL?
Yeah.
Vicious Mockery, so, like, at least, like, Toll the Dead. At least something like Toll the Dead does damage.
Yeah, not only that, the Vicious Mockery does like fucking 6 damage at most for him because his stats are so low, and it's just like,
why are his stats so bad?
Because he rolled for shit and just went with it.
See, I'm fine with that, but, like, listen, if you're gonna roll, you gotta suck it up and be like, oops, I rolled garbage.
I'm like the only one that actually rolls as a roleplay in that group. Everyone else is like cardboard cutout roleplay. Like, oh yes, my character is a drunk priest, and so whenever I need to do anything, I'll just be drunk priest, and whenever I'm not being a drunk priest, I'll not roleplay at all.
Like, it's stuff like that, right? Like, in the D&D game I'm playing with Nose and company, we've got 2 different campaigns running. One's longer running and the DM needs time to make material for it, and the other one's an adapted Pathfinder campaign, right? No big deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
One of them, it's like, oh, you're a Fey Warlock, alright? Why are you working for the Fey? Well, I was freezing to death on a mountain, and a Winter Fey was like, how'd you like to not freeze to death? And so now I have to work for them.
Yeah.
Like, And guess what? That's the kind of thing that really colors everything your character does.
Right, yeah.
Amazing.
So why are you with the party?
It's coming.
Because the giant fae that owns my soul told me to help you idiots. So I'm helping you whether I want to or not.
I always give my DM an out, my current DM faceless. Like I always give him an out with my characters, and just in case, like, because my characters have goals, unlike the rest of the fucking party.
Like it's important to have goals. Like
look, we go to a major city, right? We go to a major city. Everyone else is like, I go to the magic shop. I look for potions. I go down to the city square and I play on my trampoline and I make money. And Gray's like, and no offense to Gray, Gray's like, I go to the highest point in the city and I pray a bunch. And I'm the only one that's like, oh, I go visit the local, smiths and tinkers, and I talk with them about different techniques and trade, stuff and whatnot. And, I show them my latest invention, and then we talk about, shit like that, right? And, I'm the only one that actually has a plot. Like, Lupine has a plot, but that's only because that's been the plot for the campaign.
Like, all this him trying to fuck everything.
Like Lupine and Faceless just basically incorporated Lupine's character arc into being the campaign's overall arc. Because apparently he's, like, the traitor to the bad guys that we're currently fighting. Because he can't think of original shit at all.
I mean, he did write Fate's Gamble.
Yeah, I know, right? But, like, I'm the only one that's, like, actively having any sort of plot movement as a character besides Lupine, who's just moving a plot along for the campaign instead of a character. It's boring. I'm gonna be really.
Yeah, well, like I was just saying, like the other thing that I'm doing, right? Like,
that's my question.
Huh? Why am I still doing it?
Why are you still doing it? Yeah.
I mean, why not? I don't have anything else to do on Sunday, so.
Fair enough.
And he does.
Fair enough.
Like, even if you don't like them all that much, finding a consistent D&D group, that's worth putting up with some headaches.
Hard, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
That and Faceless lets me get away with silly shit, so I'm just like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, they just go through generic shit. The author tries being a sarcastic piece of garbage, and he is, well, congratulations, sarcastic piece of garbage. He gets observed. Ghost is in love with him. Big whoop. Tutorial completed. Yeah, blah blah blah. And he's like, oh wow, that's Bellatrix. Oh wow, she hates me and sort of likes me. Gain 25 respect due to her respecting that you're willing to shoot spells at her. Wow, shocking, amazing. You're inbred, first Potter, then Tails, Balderdash, Yosa today, blah blah, out in Lupin, observe. You're a werewolf. Want some? I ate the chocolates. Chocolate's poison for werewolves. Like right here, observe. He's a werewolf, I see. Hey, do you want to eat some chocolate? Yeah, sure, I'll eat some chocolate. Nom. Thanks for the chocolate. By the way, did you know you're eating poison? Because poison is chocolate for werewolves is poison. It's just like, I'm just gonna blurt out a secret that can get you lynched. In the middle of school, filled with children.
Haha, funny joke, and that's not how it works, anyways.
I mean, no, I think chocolate is actually poison to werewolves. I think Rowling ended up canonizing that.
Well, that's just another stupid thing she did.
In regards to Azula being a bad fit for Shield Hero because she would reject all the weapons, it seems a bit weird considering what we talked about yesterday. Also, she would work really well for Crystal or Fuda Hero. I mean, maybe. That's a fair point. It seems a bit weird considering what we talked about yesterday. Well, see, the thing is that Azula doesn't use weapons, and what we talked about so basically Underplayed and I talked about yesterday is that Shield Hero unfortunately works with the placebo system. So basically the game system in Shield Hero works along the lines of, if you think this is what's in a game, that's how the game works.
Yes.
And so if you're like, oh, well, like, basically you can orc your way into becoming OP. And so it's really easy to jailbreak, and I personally just don't like the game system in general being like that, whether it's an anime, video game, whatever. I think it's just generally dumb. Didn't Lupin eat chocolate that he brought on the train? Yes, he did. Rowling also said that wizards shit their pants. So, you know, I wouldn't put it past her to canonize that chocolate's poisonous to werewolves, and Lupin's actually a masochist, and that's why he eats chocolate all the time.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't be much surprised if he wasn't a masochist, let's be real here.
Yeah, that's fair. But I don't know what our talk about how the placebo system has anything to do with Azula not being rejected for every weapon. And even if she was a Crystal or a Fuda hero, that's not anywhere near the beginning of the 4 heroes being summoned. So her being manipulated by Multi would be long gone and done. I don't know, it's just... That being said, the bow, spear, and shield would reject her because there's something she's not loyal, caring, or judicious. The sword would take her with open arms. No, she wouldn't. No.
Come on now, Sneaky. Words.
No, the sword wouldn't take her. Because not only would she not use the sword,
frankly, none of them would take her.
I mean, the part of it's also that they're going to be reliant on that weapon, and Azula would not use a sword, period, at all. She would just shoot.
Azula would literally look at every single one of these and go, "Okay, but fire from my hands, also lightning."
Yeah, yeah, but also lightning. Yeah, it's like.
And here's the thing: in all fairness to Azula, until she put in a metric load of work, every single one of those legendary weapons would be dog shit compared to bzz from my fingers.
I mean, yeah, that too, but also you have to keep in mind that the other 3 heroes actually all used those weapons in the video games they played.
Yeah, that too. She wouldn't have a good system for growth, but...
Yeah, like, not only would she have a really shit system, because games aren't even a concept in Avatar at that time period, but they especially wouldn't be even a concept for Azula at that time period, and she also wouldn't believe a single fucking thing that anyone else told her, because if she doesn't see it, then it's not real, basically, is her worldview. So, not only would her weapon basically not evolve, it would basically have to force evolutions on her. I know the weapons are great for channeling spells. You imply... Yeah, but see, the problem there is what Azula does isn't a spell. So first off, it's not a spell. Second off, you would imply that she would ever wave around a sword thinking that it could possibly channel her spells. And third off, she wouldn't believe anyone that told her the sword can be used to channel spells. Because A, if she didn't think of it, then it's not true. B, if someone else is telling her and it turns out to be true, that means... something, inferiority, superiority complex, something, she just has to be stronger without it then.
Yeah.
And the problem is that Azula is a terrible character for any of those. It's just really bad.
Is there a situation where you need someone to be calm and understanding and learn? Azula is not the choice.
Azula's not the choice. There is at no point in time with it unless it's like post Ozai Azula, maybe? Is Azula even alive post Ozai?
No, there's actually an entire thing where she's become like not a super bitch. Like she's still a bad person and she's still under like lock and key.
Right.
But basically Zuko is like, okay, come on, that's it. We're gonna go find Mom. We find Mom together, and the mom's like,
oh, I think I remember
you are
that.
still a terrible person, Azula,
yeah.
but I do love you, and basically mom's love gets her to chill out a little bit. Like, she's still a terrible person the entire time, but basically she just becomes Zuko's attack dog as far as I remember.
Okay, so then as far as that goes, then maybe if it's like post-Avatar Azula, maybe it's loyalty. No, I hear me out here. When it comes to loyalty, Azula's actually loyal.
Oh, like, she's super loyal.
Like, she only hated Zuko because she thought he betrayed the family.
Well, failed the family. Kind of weird.
Yeah, but it's like she holds the family to a certain regard, and Zuko didn't meet that. So in her mind, that meant he was betraying the family, effectively.
Yeah.
And she does hold loyalty to an extent. So if anything, it would be the bow. But again, Azula using a bow, it's like, oh wow, ranged attacks, I got those. And maybe lightning arrows. Maybe someone could convince her to use lightning arrows. But that's the best I got on that end. Even post Avatar Azula is just still a bitch. Don't get me wrong, I would love to see that sort of like a one shot of that sort of thing pan out, of like Queen Bitch tries to manipulate Queen Bitch. That would be funny. But
so Sneaky, here it is from the wiki.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff that happens.
Yeah.
She goes through something that she describes as finding her destiny. She gets rid of the desire for total power, and she gets over a couple of her insecurities, but she's still cuckoo, and she's obsessed. She's still like, fear is the best way to rule, but she decides that she can rule through Zuko and share the burden of being Fire Lord.
Right.
And then she allowed herself to open up to others, becoming a little more chill. She also was like, she also came around to reality, and she's like, Zuko, you kicked my ass. You kicked Dad's ass. Like, you are absolutely strong, so I respect you.
Right.
And she basically spends the entire time trying to convince Zuko that the Sith way to rule is the best way. Like,
I see, yeah.
But she is still described as dangerously unhinged.
Yeah, fair enough. These things are swords and daggers, and use spells. That again, the whole problem is convincing her to try and channel her bending through the weapons in the first place, and that's even if the weapons can handle being bent through. I don't know, like it's a non-equivalent. The thing is that spells are a magical function, while as far as bending goes in Avatar, it's actually a biological function. It's like, not everyone can become a bender. As you know, yes, that is a canon on the ends of Korra, but it's technically canon. Not everyone can be a bender. There is actually a physical, spiritual aspect to being capable of being a bender. And if your parents were benders, that means you can be a bender. But that's not always how it goes. Your parents can be non-benders, and you can end up being a bender. It's a semi-spiritual, semi-genetic thing.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that's the thing, right? Like, one of the things that I did actually appreciate about Korra was that it pointed out that the number of benders was going up relative to normal people.
Right.
Because that's right, because they did describe it, right? If Bender A has sex with Bender B, there will be a bender. Did they ever talk about what happens if like a firebender goes at it with a waterbender?
I believe they only inherit one of them.
Okay, but they are guaranteed to inherit one.
Yeah, also they did say that bloodbending was a unique thing as well, so it's like, if not all waterbenders can be bloodbenders, but all bloodbenders can be waterbenders as well. So it's...
Yeah.
And not all earthbenders can be metalbenders.
Yeah, like it takes a certain level. I don't know if it's like bending strength,
bender eugenics. Yeah, that was actually a thing, by the way. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's an entire thing, right? But the point is that one of the whole things.
Wait, hold on. If all of the air nomads were airbenders, because it is implied that all of them were were
Yes.
airbenders to some extent. Does that mean that it's like tested children? If they were found to not be airbenders, they like threw them off the mountain or something?
Probably not, but it's a closed community.
They probably should.
Like
Spartans.
it's a closed community, so like, well, your genetic population is going to be pretty low, but after a certain period of time, right? Like, as long as people fall in love with another bender, you're going to either get a firebender, then you ship them off to the Fire Nation or the Water Nation or the Earth Nation, or they're an airbender, and then you keep them in the nomad tribe, in the air nomad tribe, and right, like they had 4 temples.
I think only non-benders can give rise to a bender. Like if it's an air nomad and an air nomad, they will always produce another air bender.
Air nomad, right? But that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Once you reach a certain number of people who are air nomads,
you
can just shuttle them around the 4 temples, maintain your genetic diversity pool, and just keep producing airbender, right?
That's fair enough. Yeah, I suppose so. Well, it's just it's a thing that's it's weird. Would the weapons change to fit a person? I don't think they do, actually. Maybe? We never really see it, to be honest. I don't think the sword would become a dagger, because a dagger is... No one considers a dagger a sword. It's a bladed weapon, or, a puncturing weapon, but no one would ever call a dagger a sword. So I think because of that, I'm pretty sure there's also a dagger hero.
But a dick hero as well.
A what?
A dick hero.
Oh, funny. Not you.
Penetrating weapon.
That's the spear. As we all know, Jesus would be the spear hero. That's still a story I would like to see. Even if it's just a one-shot, that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Could the bow hero change his bow into a gun? Maybe a bow gun? I think the problem is that universe is too also tied to concepts that are already known. And there is guns.
Yeah, it's probably too different of a method of propulsion than a bow.
Yeah, the thing is that there is guns already in the universe. Fallbly introduced guns, but pretty much people only know about bows, and the bow hero, as far as I remember, never was able to copy a gun and turn his bow into a gun. So I would say no. It's possible that in the future there might be a rise to a gun hero, which would be
the most American hero.
Whatever I was about to say would definitely show off my absolute weebness. So I'm gonna refrain for now from saying those words.
Go ahead.
We already know Sneaky.
Yeah, you know who I'd already say would be the best gun hero? The fastest gun Arstotzka.
What now?
I said, do you already know who would be the best gun hero? The fastest gun in Arstotzka?
Yeah, but there's such an accuracy penalty. Would you really want them to do it?
Hold on, she was pretty fucking accurate. Hold on, she had a quick draw.
Maybe not a dead shot, but definitely a quick draw.
I have no idea who this is, but this is before my time.
No, I'm referencing Mori.
Yeah.
Even to this day, she still calls herself the fastest gun in Arstotzka.
Yeah. That's why I tripped up at first, because I was like, what, Arisaka? What?
Arisaka, yes. The last samurai.
I mean, Arisaka is a gun rifle.
I thought it was canon that he could use katanas and daggers and just chose not to. I don't see why he would choose not to. I can't really speak on that though. It's been a long time.
Unless he is mentally disabled, in which case, fair enough.
It's been a long time since I've ever bothered to read non. Like, I read the Shield Hero anime and light novel. Sorry, the manga. Yeah, I read the anime. I read the manga and I read the manga shortly after the anime came out, but I read the light novel a long time ago. I don't remember much from it. No, it's not the light novel, the web novel. The web novel was fucking cringe.
The web novels are usually much worse.
So I don't know if that was ever confirmed in the new canon. So anyway, yeah, he surprises the werewolf by saying, "Hey, you're a werewolf." And Lupine's like, "What? How did you know I was a werewolf?" And it's like, okay, to be honest here, this would be a great moment where you could just have a single response line of, "Dude, your name is Wolf Wolf." I just took a wild guess. Your name is Wolf Wolf. It came to me one day. I was like, you know what? You might be a werewolf.
Would it be funny if that guy was a werewolf?
If he wasn't a werewolf? Yeah, that'd be pretty good, yeah. So did
Literally
your parents
fucking...
hate you? What do you mean? Well, your name is Wolf raised by Wolf. It's like, fuck you.
I mean, only way it would be better is it was named the Moon.
Novels get really long and boring with harem member number 247. Yeah, no, they're oh my god, so many fucking people got added in the web novel to his harem. Oh, it was so fucking bad.
Yes.
I mean, that's just the purpose of novels in general.
Web novels in general. Oh, yeah, I know.
For what?
So, blah, blah, yeah, I've known you're a werewolf. The scars are familiar enough. Wait, hold on. The scars are familiar enough. Author, is that really what you're going for? That implies you've seen other child werewolves before. Be like, ah, yes, I recognize those child werewolf scars.
They all get branded with the same scars.
Adam, no! Do you see my scars? You want to know how I got them? Adam, we don't want to hear about your toaster incident. Harems are a sign that something is probably going to be shit. I mean, you're not wrong. Unfortunately, however,
it's a good indicator.
Yeah, but unfortunately, however, you are slightly wrong because there is also the section of stories like Fateverse in general, where they originally started off with a lewd harem, specifically because they thought that no one would enjoy their story if they didn't include a lewd harem. And I'm not gonna say Fate stories are amazing storytelling. They're pretty good. They have some interesting, like takes on some stuff. It's like, all right, yeah, I dig it. No, I'm not gonna be like, oh man, everyone's gonna fucking watch this one. It's like, no, I'm never gonna recommend Fate to anyone, but I'll still be like, oh, it's pretty good.
Like, if someone asks me, is Fate good? I'd be like, yeah, Fate's okay. If someone's like, should I read it? No. You shouldn't read it. You shouldn't watch it. You shouldn't play it. It's a deep hole.
It's really not worth the effort.
Cost-sunk fallacy at its finest.
Yeah, pretty much. Jesus Christ. Yeah, let's get through this, and I'll start telling stories about the recent adventures of me and Gray uploading stories. I know that's what you're all here for anyway.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, so anyway, it's more garbage and blah blah blah, and Lupine's like, you shouldn't tell anyone this information. He's like, fuck off, werewolf. I'm not gonna tell anyone.
Fuck off, Fed.
Don't go werewolf posting now.
The werewolves, they glow in the dark. They glow in the moonlight.
They glow in the moonlight. If wizards had a 4chan culture.
Yeah.
Oh,
fuck off, werewolf. We can all see you glowing in the moonlight. I'm not a werewolf. I'm just saying. Fuck off. Stop wolf posting.
Fucking furries.
Oh boy, here comes the Slytherin with another snake.
Nice snake post, Slither boy. Why don't you slither into this jail cell?
Oh Christ.
That would be amazing, honestly. Someone should write that.
Alright guys, give me your best snake post. I only want the finest of conspiracies.
Okay, Sneaky, listen, if you do that, you realize you're just gonna get a bunch of snake titties from XCOM, right?
The attack on fucking Harry Potter was an inside job.
The attack on Hogwarts was an inside job. For the last time! You fucking schizo! Stop posting that! Take your meds! Drink your potions! You fucking Slytherin poster! Hogwarts wasn't an inside job! Dumbledore didn't let them in!
Dumbledore, do not open that door!
Oh. Here comes the gay Dumbledore poster again.
Oh, it's the German man.
Oh,
we get it.
Honestly,
gay.
I think if someone wrote a Wizard Chan, Wizard Chan post, that'd be...
Yeah, I would love to see that.
I would love to see that. You know. Oh god. Speaking of absolute shit posts, did you you guys know why Noodle Hammer has been uploading so slowly recently? No. He apparently has written his first official published story.
Wow, good on him.
Which was a trashy romance novel.
No, from Noodlehammer, trashy romance.
Written under the name of Jennifer Hayes. Because according to his research, women were more willing to read books by women about trashy romance than men.
I see.
I mean, he isn't wrong.
So he recently updated with a new story that he's being paid to write. It's actually, honestly, it's pretty good because he's being paid to write it, which means the person who's paying him to write it is telling him what to write, which means it's not just going to be about sociopathic sex.
Truly innovative.
Yes, it's a novelty. But he included at the end of his author's note that he's going to be writing a new book now. And that he realized that him posting another book would just inevitably out him. And that there's no point in trying to hide it, that he's posting this other book at this point in time. Because he's already got accounts set up for Jennifer Hayes, so he's not going to make a new one for a different series.
Madman.
And he's like, alright guys, I know this might be too much to ask of you, but please, whatever corner of the internet you dwell in, try to refrain from connecting Noodlehammer racist statements with Jennifer Hayes, the author. I know you're going to do it anyway. But I would just like to say, fuck you in advance.
Madman. I respect the bots on that guy, really. What a lad.
I'm gonna ask you not to do this, but I know you will anyway, so fuck you. You're saying, Max?
Just... On the one hand, he ripped the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
On the other, they hadn't noticed the Band-Aid yet.
Yeah, but the thing was he wanted to actually start publishing original fiction and getting paid for it. So he was like, well, you know, if I start publishing original fiction and I advertise my second book, people are gonna find out I wrote the first book. So they're gonna do the whole song and dance anyway. So I might as well tell them now and get it over with. Because the reason why he was delaying so long is apparently he was really hoping it would sell well, and he got like 100 sales.
Oof.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's like $700, but it's still just like...
I mean, yeah.
Not great.
Still, kind of...
Yeah.
Nothing to live on.
Unfortunately, the whole self-publishing thing is actually a scam. If you don't get your book in print, you're gonna miss a large portion of your audience these days. In terms of horny women over the age of 40 who are reading trashy romance novels.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say if that's what you're doing.
Yeah, he's writing a trashy romance. Even then, you're gonna miss a lot of people who are gonna read original fiction, because people who typically read original fiction aren't going on to Amazon and trying to look up new books, because Amazon's a garbage place to do that. Because you can't just flip through the book, you know. Like in Barnes & Noble, you can walk up, you're like, oh, this summary, oh, that cover looks interesting enough. Oh, the title's okay. The summary's decent. Flip through the book. All right, the writing seems to be all right, and then you buy it. But you can't do that on Amazon. It's like, yeah, technically speaking, you don't have to leave your house, which is a big plus. But at the same time, typically most books that I've talked to quite a few people, including Atin, who've bought books online, and usually people are like, oh yeah, you know, I read the Brandon Sanderson series, or the Salvatore series, or I used to read Lord of the Rings, so I bought all the books on Kindle. It's like either they're rebuying books digitally, or they're buying books to series they've already read physically. Like,
I mean, I do occasionally find new things
yeah.
On Amazon, right? Some of them have actually been okay. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. Some of them have been really good, right?
Oh, really?
But like that's where I found Powder Mage, right? Like I love that's a great series.
That was all digital then?
Yeah, no, the whole thing's digital. I highly recommend the first 3 books. The latter books they're still interesting, but they're very, very different. Like the first books are very much, I'm trying to think how to say it, like they're high fantasy disguised as low fantasy. I feel like that's a pretty good explanation.
Yeah, that's fair enough, yeah. Like, if you can pull that off, like, that's really a massive kudos to you if you can pull off a high fantasy disguised as low fantasy.
Yeah.
Well, and because it doesn't even get high fantasy until you don't even start seeing like hints of high fantasy until you get to like book 2, book 3, when the quote-unquote gods show back up.
Right.
And spoilers, they're not god. They're the philosophical question of, if something has enough power, is it a god, right?
I mean, that's fair enough, yeah. So it's basically the Clark question to divine beings.
Yeah. And right, like the entire end of the 3rd book is this dude stood at ground zero and killed God with a bullet.
Very cool.
And then he lived through the ensuing magical explosion. So book 2 is, shit, I guess I'm God now.
I mean, that's how Final Fantasy says it works.
I mean, that sure is how Final Fantasy X works.
Oh, you killed God. Oh boy, that means no one will die anymore. Oh no, actually it means you're the new god of death. Now you have to kill all your friends. Oh.
Wait, hang on.
Oh yeah, that's Final Fantasy 13 for you.
We're gonna kill a god of death. Oh no,
I'll never know, because I refuse to go past the 6 hours I did
you fucking
in front of you and Sneaky.
your way through it and still couldn't beat it.
No, it's not that he couldn't beat it, it's that he couldn't be asked.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though, you know.
Gameplay loop was not great, and that story was
Max,
just
you're running
off-putting.
down another hallway.
On the bright side, I have the ultimate
annoying.
card to play against that asshole friend who's like, your taste is shit. It's like, motherfucker. He admitted he would rather waste another 96 hours of his life doing all of 13, including its 2 follow-ups, than watch an hour-and-a-half long movie from Paul S. Anderson and laughing at how bad it is with friends.
2 follow-ups?
That's
13-2, and yeah, he said he'd rather play through 13, 13-2, and Lightning Returns.
Oh, I forgot they did that! Ah!
Sneaky, did you forget about 13-3?
Lightning Returns?
They made a 3rd?
Yes! It's fabulously garbage!
Yeah, the story's still garbage. Apparently the gameplay loop got better.
Final Fantasy name is that they did the whole, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like, even though they were, like, sequels...
13 is not the first Final Fantasy game to get sequels.
Yeah, there was 10 and 10 too.
10 2.
Yeah.
What are we, fucking French?
Yeah, I bought Final Fantasy 10-1 and 10-2 at GameStop once, used, and they gave me 13-2 instead, so I had to go back to swap it in.
They gave me
That's the only reason I remember this.
I don't want this shitty dress-up game. I want the other shitty dress-up game.
Yeah, literally.
That's actually all I know about 10-2. Is like, it's not even necessarily bad. It's just the way they handled the extra stuff wasn't great or something.
No. So the problem
I don't actually know.
The problem with 10-2 is like the sphere grid, like the deep, intricate level up system is gone, and all of your powers come from the because first of all, your party is now nothing but girls, and they get different abilities by playing dress up.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think anything can be worse than the whole Pravda Lightning crossover.
Oh, the Prada and Louis Vuitton and all that.
Yeah, it's like, bro, what? Who the fuck do you think is playing these games?
No, remember they had an interview. They had an interview with Lightning, which, to be fair, Lightning actually is a solid character design. Unfortunately, the writing for her is garbage.
Well, yeah, like that's the thing, right? Like they picked but
the problem here is I'm really questioning who they think their target audience is, because I don't know how many fucking neats are gonna go out and buy some Louis Vuitton because Lightning wore it.
Yeah, I would say, like, listen, first of all, like, there's so many problems. First of all, I keep that article bookmarked because I'm like, no, really, this happened, and they did an interview, and people are like, that's bullshit. And I'm like, no, it's not.
But...
Yeah, the devil wears Parada.
Yeah, anyway, the point is, right, like, there's so little market crossover. Like, first of all, people who play video games are, first of all, generally not going to be concerned with high fashion. Second of all...
Unless your
even when Final Fantasy 13 was made, right? Even when Final Fantasy 13 was made, it was still a mostly male-dominated target market.
I'm gonna say, you're not gonna be concerned about high fashion unless your name is Guargura, and you specifically cut down one hand of your nails because you can game better with that hand, but you still want long nails.
Yeah, like...
The best of both worlds.
God.
Truly.
Like,
it's a genius.
Like, Gura is...
She cuts down the left hand's nails so they're gamer stubs, but lets the right hand's nails grow because she also wants long nails.
Alright, I'm gonna use a southern platitude here. Bless her heart.
Absolutely.
All I'm gonna say is...
Bless this child.
All I'm saying is Gura is slowly becoming a supervillain with a look like that.
She's ascended beyond mere humanity.
No, dude,
but like, again,
have you seen her fucking laugh and when people asked her to bully them? She has the absolute smug condescension down pat, even better than Ame. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But I would say, circling back to
this garbage story.
It's like which marketing department decided that was a good idea? Like,
look, I'm saying
these
Louis
are questions
Vuitton,
I have to have answers to.
Yeah, look, all I'm saying, Louis Vuitton. I don't care how much your bags cost. You paid way too much money for this crossover.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh,
first of all, like, first of all, it was paid DLC. It wasn't even free DLC. It was paid DLC. But like, what possible? First of all, these are high fashion brands aimed mostly at women.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there is Prada for men and there is Louis Vuitton for men, right? Those lines exist.
Are they really?
And to be fair, Saz looked great in a suit, right?
That's fair. Yeah, the suits are pretty good. Yeah.
Like, Saz looked great in a suit, but like, first of all,
yeah.
Priorities.
A bunch of fat neats are not
what
your models look like.
Yeah. Well,
right?
I mean, not only that. All I'm saying is you picked the absolute worst game to do it in. Like, I can understand maybe like, oh, we want to hit the Final Fantasy niche because that's a large player base. It's like, okay, fine. I can sort of understand the churning logic.
The fucking Sims player niche. But
yeah,
fucking
okay.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, no. Okay, hold on. Final Fantasy is a big game, though, and for Japan, if you're trying to advertise to the Japanese audience, I can sort of understand what's going on in the minds of corporate. Who, again, you have to keep in mind they have no idea, like, the reality of world. They just like, oh wow, 13 million people played this game. We should advertise to them. And that's their thought process, and they're like, oh, okay, we're going to advertise to these people, and we're going to get sales from it. But the problem is they picked the worst fucking game in existence for the Final Fantasy franchise to advertise
It's not just it's the worst game in the Final Fantasy franchise. They didn't make any attempt to go halfway, right? Like, just, hey, gamers, here's these characters in our clothes, buy our clothes, right? Like,
right.
I forget what it was, but there was some fashion company in Japan that, right, Final Fantasy 15 comes out, and they're like, hey, you can buy for god awful exorbitant amounts of money, you can buy replicas of Noctis or Prompto or Gladio.
You could get their outfits.
That's
like
cool. You know
the
what?
actual
Fine,
outfit.
Fair enough.
Which is a common thing in Japan, by the way.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair enough. Yeah.
They do that in Japan often.
Yeah, but and I'm like, this is the sensible thing to do, right? We'll make this because we're high fashion and we'll make just about any kind of ridiculous clothing. And it actually looks and it looks good, and we'll make it high quality, and we'll make it for pennies on the dollar in China, and then charge people $1,500 to look like Noctis.
I mean, hey man, whatever works. But still, just saying though, it's
if I could get in on that scam, I would.
Yeah, hit me up on that pyramid scam, But so anyway, the author starts talking to the bird, and the game's like, hey, make some friends, and the author's like, oh, do birds count as friends? And the game's like, people friends, dipshit. Wow, the fucking height of comedy in this chapter, I swear to God. So the owl pecks him, and he's like, thanks for being loyal to me. Persuasion check, and McGonagall gives him the leather, blah blah blah, letter to him, blah blah blah, blah blah. It's fucking bunch of pointless crap. I didn't know your father could contact you. Yeah, I didn't know either. Yeah, blah blah blah. Fucking will do, professor. Mana per second, garbage shit ass crap. Wait, I already know that spell. Blah blah blah. Full balance text boxes, spells and stuff. Yeah, a bunch of more garbage that no one really cares about. And the author just fucking includes a whole bunch of random spells. A lot of them don't even exist. The author's just like, yeah, these just exist now. Like,
there you go.
Defordio, it's a spell. It only carves stone.
Oh,
why is it only carved stone?
It's actually a spell.
I'm sure it is.
No, legit, that is a canon spell.
Sure.
It's used like once.
Wow. Outstanding.
Yeah,
the author knows all of the canon spells.
No, they looked at the wiki. It's really not that hard.
Anyway, so wow. Reward, random common spell. You've been rewarded with the common spell Chillante, which chills any drink you have.
Chill the fuck out.
Just
take a chill pill though.
Well, fuck. That costs a fifth of my total magic to cast Ice Cube.
Damn.
Ice
sounds
Cube,
like
really?
a personal problem.
Yeah, Ice Cube.
That sounds like you have a garbage mana pool, bro.
Find a place to train. What the fuck? Chamber of Secrets. What the fuck? There's actually a Chamber of Secrets. I thought that was a joke. Well, shit. I want to find it. Up to the library to find anything about the Smith. Wow.
The Chamber of Steaming.
Yes. Haha. Funny.
I just remember that. It's great.
Yeah. So anyway, story time. So I'm just gonna leave that up there, right there. Yep. So Nux had a video recently where he would go onto people's streams and tell them, be like, I'm gonna pay you money, and all you have to do is go into your history and type the word P, which the letter P. Just put the word P and see what autofills from that. You know, some people got hit up for Pornhub and whatnot, and tentacle porn and all that fun shit. And I'm just like, what shows up in my history if I hit the letter P?
I don't think I want to know.
Mr. Well, a lot of boring shit. I'm gonna be real with you. So, a lot of fucking boring ass shit. So I'll actually pull up my history right now and I'll show you guys what kind of boring shit I get up to in my when I'm not streaming. So I took the letter P in here. As you can see, let's see, Twitch, fanfiction, Harry Potter fanfiction. I looked up prosthetics because I could. Hololive, bunch of YouTube videos, video game guides.
Skin dog at night. All right, bro. Interesting.
And Fidelity Investments. This is some investing stuff, you know, some Minecraft mods, portfolios. You know, I broke a video game at one point, so I was trying to look up stuff to fix that. Yeah, this is the riveting. This is my riveting Google history.
Yeah. I even want to check mine.
Makes sense.
You know, other people are getting hit up for, you know, all sorts of shit, and I'm just sitting here like, you know, if someone ever came into my stream and was like, actual 9/11 in Minecraft, I don't know what you're saying. You know, if people ever came up to me, like, it's this Twitch thing apparently, because Nux isn't the only person that does this. It's like the bigger streamers will sometimes occasionally raid other streamers and be like, yo, hey, here's $50, you know, show me what's on your desktop and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, there's nothing on my desktop either. I don't use my desktop. I'm sorry, I'm boring as shit. It's just a bunch of Minecraft mods.
I would say Sneaky's not very interesting, and it's probably best that way.
Yeah.
Probably.
But anyway, so fun stories from the corners of Undying Scarab these days.
Oh boy.
Let's see if we can't pull up the reviews.
Is this the thing I think it is?
If it's the one that
the shit that Gray's been complaining about, yeah.
Yeah. It's great. Love it.
So there's like, we've been getting reviews of shit like, oh my god, it was a long ass reviews, but basically boils down to like, oh my god, I can't believe Taylor isn't the nexus of all changes happening in this story. Other shit like, oh my god, I can't believe you're requiring me to critically think about the events of your story. How come you haven't explained this yet? This is a big mystery. It's like, yeah, no fucking shit, Sherlock. It's almost like that's relevant to her character arc. It's like, we're getting reviews from people that are like, I can't believe you're not explaining everything. Why didn't she just bury the children alive?
Yes.
I really love going to that one.
Well, yes, of course I love going to that one. Who the fuck is like, I'm gonna save these children by burying them alive?
That person,
Yes.
clearly.
That
I'm
person
going to the Hague.
Even Taylor's not that dumb.
Shield Hero Season 2 is coming?
Christ.
Yeah, that's happening. Are they better or worse than everyone's cucking Naruto? I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, you've triggered me with that AN, but it's so cheeky, I'll forgive you. So we said fuck paladins in the author's note, and apparently saying fuck paladins got more reviews than anything else in this story so far.
Yes.
Okay.
We triggered paladins, okay? Look, paladins are fucking the most triggered class out there.
Fucking broken ass pieces of shit that should never existed.
So anyway, thought 1, fuck Taylor Herbert. Thought 2, fuck Mary's Suism that caused her to survive literal soul magic radiation realm. So he's referring to the Twisting Nether. So we'll get to that in a second. But seriously, will she suffer a repeat of canon? I feel like this fic is leading up to just rewriting Worm. So multiple people now have said, oh my god, this fic is just rewriting Worm, and it's like, yeah, we've literally mentioned that in the story. Taylor will be like, wow, this is a very similar scenario to X thing that happened to me in Worm. And it's like, well, unfortunately, we're not intentionally doing it. I'll allude to, obviously, the events that happen. And it just so happens that they're very similar to what happened in Worm when we came up with the idea. Like, it's just like, yeah, it's just how it works. Because it's almost like Wildbow wrote a bunch of tropes. It's weird, like, how that works. Stories? Write tropes? Wow. It even has the same formula as her excuse to running with the Undersiders, but something she can what? She can something what?
She can something about it.
But she can something about it.
Okay, yeah, sure, cool.
What?
She can.
I guess she can something about it. Is this
So
story
stupid.
Is this the story of Taylor Hebert actually trying to be good as you presented, or will just be damning World of Azeroth? Because at this rate, you have her getting power-ups. I expect her to kill someone important and damn the planet. So the big thing here is the current expansion that we've put Taylor into is actually not relevant at all to like the future of Azeroth in terms of like events that occur. And the reasoning behind this is because all of the characters that are currently in this expansion haven't gone through this expansion yet, and the shit they went through fighting the King of Undead in a hell realm of ice, snow, and death, affected these people, and they all came out from doing this campaign a little bit different, which is the lore reasoning as to why they did the actions they did. And pretty much all of the characters and all of the domino effects and chain reactions they set off, which caused all of the future expansions, if they die here in this expansion, they actually stop those domino effects. Like
with Garrosh.
Entirely. Like, multiple expansions don't happen if one single character, like Garrosh, dies. And it's actually for the better, because those expansions just weakened the factions, actually. Like,
Iron Horde killed bunch of adventurers, of the highest caliber, and soldiers.
Yeah. But anyway, so Mr. Pandaria also was a thing that shouldn't have happened. But anyway, so on top of this, so the guy gets into a PM debate with Gray, and goes on to say that it makes no sense for Taylor to be weak to Fel energy, which is disorder energy, if she had lived in the Twisting Nether. What this dipshit apparently doesn't know despite him complaining about it, is that the only way to kill a demon from the Twisting Nether who feeds off of fel energy is to use fel energy. Fel energy is the only thing that can actually kill a demon that feeds off of fel energy and lives inside fel energy.
Like, you can, for want of a better word, kick them off the material plane by stabbing them or shooting them or burying them alive or killing them with the arcane.
Yeah. But unless you're using fel energy, they don't die. And it's only when they're surrounded by fel energy can they die. Whether that's in their home plane of fel energy or on a plane on the material realm, you know, coated in fel energy. And so he's like,
the home plane of a felony.
And it's just like, bro, you are literally... Why is she vulnerable to fel energy if she lived in the fel energy place? I don't know. Why are demons vulnerable to fel energy? Bruh. Like... You're making a complaint about canon. And, you know, he goes on to also complain about a quote that I had put into the story at one point about where one of the void gods says, even in these strange aeons, death may die. And he's like, oh my god, this is a fucking edgy quote. You know, it's just really giving me bad vibes about the story. And it's like, bro, this is something that one of the void gods, you know, taking Eldritch shit from, what's-his-face, Lovecraft.
The Void Gods, also known as totally not Cthulhu, guys, I promise.
Even though he's called Cthulhu, it's definitely not Cthulhu, guys. Yeah, anyway. Yogg-Saron and Yogg-Sarosh or whatever the fucking... everyone knows. So anyway, point being is that canonically, one of the Void Gods literally said this as a dialogue line. And he's like, I can't believe you put this edgy line in. It's like, bro, this is literal fucking canon. You are complaining about canon in this story.
Which, I mean, fair enough. There's some absolute garbage in WoW canon.
Yeah, obviously, fair enough. Complain about canon all you want. But you're complaining about canon thinking it's our fanon.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, I hate to break this to you, but this is all canon shit.
Like, listen, complain about canon being trash because it is. Don't act like I'm doing this.
Don't act like I'm being original here. This is all shit straight from the story.
But that's hard to remember.
Is it?
Yes, for these people. Anyway. Yeah. I'm getting dinner. People are stupid.
These reviews are absolutely fucking painful because it's just person after person that's either complaining about we're either demanding too much critical thinking from them, or we're mimicking Worm too much, despite Worm being like just a collection of tropes connected together by words. And like, well, we're mimicking Worm too much, or Taylor's escalating too much in power, or we're putting Taylor in, she's too strong. Like, one person was complaining about the strength of Taylor, and it's like, bro, we literally started the story and she was a fucking cripple.
Like, she literally got her ass kicked.
She literally, at not a single point in time has she ever exited anything that she's been doing as a victory. It's always been a Pyrrhic victory for her in some form or fashion. Just because she can resurrect her troops after she's basically lost doesn't mean it wasn't a Pyrrhic victory for her. Like, just because she can recover from wounds faster than others doesn't mean she didn't almost die. Also, then we have one other review that's complaining. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe she survived the soul nuke. And it's like, it wasn't a soul nuke. We specifically never said it was a soul nuke.
That was the same person.
Oh, it was the same person? Yeah, we went out of our way. I went out of my way to describe it as everything but spiritual. Like, it was like a sun going off. It was like an explosion of cosmic energy. Like, literally at no point in time did I ever mention the soul or anything related to spiritual stuff. when this spell was occurring. And they're like, I can't believe she survived this spiritual occasion. Like, bro, did you even fucking read the story? Reading comprehension 0. And poor Orpheus, this is why I wanted him on as well. Poor fucking Orpheus here messaged me with some of the reviews he's been getting. And people are complaining about his reboot story not being a new story, even though in the summary of the reboot itself, he even says that it's not a reboot. It's basically a restart. He says in the summary that basically his character gets sent back in time to back when he started at the first chapter of his original story and has all of his memories from, up until that point where he got restarted from. And everyone's like, I can't believe, why does this character have his memories still? And he's like, I fucking put it in the summary that the character still has his memories. Reading comprehension 0. Actually, this leads to a discussion about whether authors should feel obligated to at least abridge some aspects of canon that aren't well defined, if not change or remove them entirely. When Imp was watching Taylor and Brian, what trope was that? What trope was that? We all know what trope that was. If I awake and see that image, I would volunteer myself for executioner. Hey, now I wouldn't. I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I'd be okay with this. More than okay, in fact. You can call this ideal.
Indeed. But honestly, at what point is an author obligated to abridge aspects? If it's not relevant to the story, they shouldn't feel the need to put it in, honestly. Like, for example, if you're gonna, like, with Core's done, if you're gonna put in a story about John running a coffee shop, he basically ignores the majority of what Ruby is, being an action-adventure story. Yes, later on he does include action and he does include adventure, but primarily the first chunk of Coffee Shop John is actually just slice of life and comedy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you really don't need to fill that much in. But I think as far as what authors are obligated to fill in for what canon doesn't define is anything that's irrelevant to the story's premise or plot. You could have gotten Coco, who would have won Final Boss the first 10 minutes, but you got a Gremlin Shark instead. Hey man, don't underestimate the power of this Gremlin Shark.
Yeah, she'll fuck you up.
But anyway, so as I was saying,
and there's also death, in the background, right there.
Yeah, there's also only death and the Phoenix of Life in the background. Don't worry, we're about it. I think we're good.
And the cart driver is a literal eldritch being. Like,
yeah, I think we're pretty solid on this one. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we got him, boys.
As far as authors' obligations, anything that is relevant to your story. So if you're, say, writing a story about a team of characters who are traveling throughout the world on an adventure of action and, suspense, maybe you should consider, I don't know, making sure the world's actually fleshed out. That's just a wild speculation on my end, though. Yeah, don't quote me on this one, though. I'm not a published author with millions of dollars behind my name, though I wish I was. I'm just pointing out as someone who's really enjoyed stories over the entirety of my life and has read literally hundreds. I can actually say this now. I've read hundreds of millions of words in terms of fantasy stories, sci-fi and fantasy both, of course. Actually developing the aspects of the world that is relevant to your story surprisingly, shockingly makes for a good story. So if your story is focusing on the characters and maybe it's getting really deep and introspective, and maybe you have a story about souls and whatnot and how you can manifest them to do special powers, and that's unique to every person, and it's supposed to be a reflection of their soul. You actually develop the lore behind using your soul as a weapon and how these unique powers interact and represent the characters in the world and how that might possibly affect the characters. That seems like it would be a pretty good idea to cover, just in general, if you're trying to do this like world-spanning adventure action story about this specific team of characters and their semblances and how they change over time because the characters are evolving as people. You would think that'd be something you would like to really establish to get the audience really entrenched in those characters and really caring about the story and the lives of these characters. But no, that's just me speaking. If you're trying to like Devil's a Part-Timer is actually a really excellent example of this. It doesn't give us any information about a lot of shit going on in Devil in a Part-Timer world, but it gives us all the information we need to enjoy Devil's a Part-Timer. And so I'm just pointing out, I'm going to use successful stories as an example of this. Unfortunately, I guess you could say Naruto is a successful example of this, and so is One Piece because of how long they've run and how much money they've made. While they've really lost their way over time, because I do believe both of those authors were first-time authors. As far as I was aware, those were both the first stories they've ever really worked on that got, anywhere near successful. I don't know if you want to correct me on that one, Max.
Oh no, what?
One Piece and Naruto, those are the first stories they've really ever wrote that were successful.
From Shonen Jump?
Yeah.
I guess overseas, yeah. There would have only been a handful before that would have been successful over here, like maybe Dragon Ball.
No, I'm talking about the authors of those stories. Like, that was their first story.
Oh, I actually don't know Kishimoto's background very much. And as for the One Piece author, I think he at least did some assistant work on earlier things, but whether that's first story or not, I don't know.
Right, but my point being is mainly this was their first attempt at it, and you can definitely tell from a bird's eye narrative perspective where they were really wandering at first and they didn't really know where to go with their stories and they didn't know what to tell the audience about their stories. But Kishimoto, despite whatever you want to say about him and how he's described his story, chakra was a very important part of how everything goes down in Naruto, for example. And Kishimoto spent a lot of time talking about chakra because it was important to the story. If you're a fan fiction author and you want to write about Naruto and you're going to be similar in Naruto in terms of pacing, style, or events occurring, talking a lot about chakra and filling in any blanks would probably be important because, again, Kishimoto was a first-time author, and while you might be a first-time author, he laid the groundwork for it, and you should, as a fan fiction author, try your best to both properly represent the fandom you are writing for as a fan of the works, one would think, but also fill in any gaps that... This is the part that makes it fan fiction, is that you fill in any gaps that you think are gaps. And you try your best to write the world as you think it goes for that, whatever you're writing. You could have gone, and that's my general spiel about that. I think about covered everything, and that could possibly have answered in that situation. So, you know what? We'll see everyone next time. I appreciate everyone that made it this far, either in the live view or VOD. Yeah, because people totally fucking watch our VODs too.
I mean, the only person who does it is Aura.
Bless that one
Maybe.
fucking... No, dude, you don't...
Yeah.
On YouTube, we got like 1 view on every video, or sometimes 0. But for some reason on Twitch, we get like 80 views, and I'm just like sitting here like, who the fuck is watching?
Yeah, please show up next time. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why someone might not show up, but I'm pretty sure, like, aside from Europe, the time period I'm streaming in is pretty good. I guess our audience is just European. I don't know.
Yeah,
possibly.
That'd be weird.
There's possibly night jobs as well, but
that's a fair point.
Night jobs, maybe.
Point, yeah.
Maybe some Asians. I don't know.
Well, today is a Tuesday, so you know what? We'll see everyone on Friday at 7 to 9 p.m. because, as always, it always gets worse. There's always more. Yeah, there we go. There's always more, and it always gets worse.